I've been fortunate enough that, I can look at my carvings and pretty hardly critique what I'm doing wrong. And, meeting people, seeing people looking at, and it's not trying to be like somebody else, but seeing ways and techniques that they did that made something that elevated where I struggle, and knowing where I struggle and not letting that be something that I put to, like, oh, I can't carve eyes. I'm not going to do eyes. I want to do these figures that have the face, the hat pull over the eyes. No, if that's something you struggle with, attack it. And so that's what I try to do is attack things. For me, carving hands was a lot of it. And even moving from faces to full figures. I always thought if I got a face that was really cool, the second I put it on a full figure and figured out how to do the full figure, then I was going to have something because I already got the face down, and that's the hard part, right?
Hmm.
So just knowing and evaluating your stuff enough that you can know where to improve and don't hide behind it or as a weakness or a handicap. Just attacking that, and putting the time into developing those things so that you become better. I mean, that's practicing all. I mean, doing the same thing over and over makes you good at it. It doesn't have to be the same face over and over again, but a lot of this is muscle memory. Some of it is building things in order so that this stroke sets up the next one. That's a lot of it is just, and that only comes from repetition. If you have to write out the steps on what it took to get there, it would drive you crazy because there's so many of them. When you do it enough, it just becomes part of who you are.
Yeah, and I think some people just get complacent in their skill level. They kind of plateau for a while. They get comfortable doing the same thing over and over again, and they don't want to venture out and try new things because it took them so long to get where they are. So they'll
Yeah,
stick to what they know,
yeah,
because they're so afraid to kind of mess up. But yeah, I
yeah.
agree with you. I think people should just, you're afraid to mess up the eyes, start carving a bunch of eyes and just work at it, improve, and get better. I mean, I'm looking at
I
this
still
carving
carve
I just
eyes.
did
Yeah,
today, and I'm already looking at things that I can improve on. I see things that look weird or unproportioned. It was also like for me a first time carving something that wasn't blocked out, like out
yeah,
of a square. It was like weird crevices and like you said, things broke off and I had to adapt to it and change.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm still every day carving eyes. I've got sticks all over the place that these are like little study sticks that
Study
have,
sticks.
yeah, that'll have, I'll carve three different eyes because I want to see if I can get expression in just an eye. You know, what can I do to this eye to tell a story just with an eye? And so I'll do sticks around the house and leave them everywhere. But it's fine. Same thing with the nose. Just do a bunch of noses and tweak them. What can I do to this nose that the nose tells a story on its own? And then you put all that stuff together, and then you get something crazy.